Monday. I didn't really know what to talk about today, to be honest. But I definitely wanted to hop on while the sun was so pretty. So, I guess I'm gonna wing it. Every day's a new day. Isn't that what we always do? At least over here, that's what we do. We wing it. Now, I wanted to talk, I guess, something about something my father always used to say to me. And I don't think I'm going to pull any cards today because, well, I don't know. I might hop on later. Strap together a couple of videos. Who knows? Do this one now and then maybe a little one later. Maybe. We'll see. But my father was my heart, and yesterday was his, well, would have been his 76th birthday. So I was in quiet contemplation yesterday. I didn't post anything. I was really just spending time with my thoughts and my memories of him. And one of the most common things that my father used to say to me as a kid, which used to piss me off, I'm not gonna lie. I was a fiery motherfucker. I was always very passionate. I'm still quite passionate. However, the difference between the kind of passion I have today versus the kind of passion I had when I was a kid, I didn't really know how to control the fire. You know, like, if you got me riled up, who knows what was gonna happen, you know? And he knew this about me, and he watched this characteristic in me my whole childhood. And just about weekly, I would hear this statement every motherfucking week that he would say to me: Teddi Jane, he who angers you controls you. So basically right now, Dad, you're controlling me, because that pissing me you're pissing me off, because you tell me that every damn week and it does nothing for me. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. I did not understand that one of my biggest exacerbations was how easily I could be manipulated through how heartfelt I was in my passions. Now, mind you, that has not changed. I'm not going to change the core of who I am. However, I'm sure some people who know me know that I'm pretty contrived. I'm pretty controlled. And if I start to catch on fire, I don't set myself ablaze. I know how to keep it reeled in, keep myself in check. As a matter of fact, even when I'm triggered and there's something like deep within me from my childhood that's being pulled at, even in those particular moments, I'm still very capable of staying on top of witnessing myself and witnessing my emotions, witnessing how I'm feeling, witnessing my body, staying with my triggers. and paying attention to how they actually affect me and what's actually happening inside of me. Because once I realized, after years of him telling me that he was right, and that anytime I was triggered, passionate, or exacerbated in any way, whoever was pushing my buttons really could pull me like a puppet. And so that was something I changed. That was something I worked really hard on changing. But it took a lot of work, a lot of patience, and a lot of mindfulness, which I think mindfulness is probably my favorite topic at this time of my life. I mean, I like a lot of areas of, areas of like psychology, philosophy, metaphysics, witchy shit. I like it all. Anything supernatural, even anything actually, I don't know, outside of the box. If it's gonna get my curiosity piqued, it's got my attention. I guess all this to really say that it probably took me, I'd venture to say, 10 solid years of really focusing on how I was behaving when I was triggered, paying attention to why I was triggered, what triggered me, what was the intention of the person triggering me versus what I thought their intention was. I ask myself questions like, why would I feel that way? Why didn't I believe what they had to say? Can I remember the first time something like that happened to me? I mean, anything and everything. And I wrote a lot about my triggers in my poetry over the years. I have 97 journals. Don't tell anyone. Which, I mean, it's a lot. Like, mindfulness and learning my own behaviors and learning how to unravel my own triggers, unravel my own psyche, and learning about myself and why I was behaving in the ways that I was. I mean, I didn't really even have a choice, actually. At one point, I was near death. I mean, I was suicidal and addicted to meth. So it was either do or die. I didn't really have a whole lot of room for dilly-dallying. So mindfulness and that journey, they really helped me to get on top of being more decisive in my actions, staying more focused in my visions, working towards goals and actually achieving them, paying attention to other people and their behaviors, being a little bit more conscious. Yeah, the consciousness was a big part. I think once I started to really become more conscious of more people around me, I actually started to realize I'm a lot different. My motivations for what it is that I do, I'm not common. Not to say that anyone is really common, but there are a lot of patterns among people, and they are pretty predictable. And not everybody has, predictable behavior, but I did notice that I tend to behave from a different intentional place most of the time than most of the people that I was paying attention to, which made me a little bit more mindful and conscious of them as well, because what I realized was that a lot more people were actually a lot more afraid than I was, and behaving from more fearful places than I even was, which made me want to be even more of service, because yeah, I behaved to avoid fear too, but most of the time I was kind of fearless. I mean, dude, I was a meth head. I wasn't afraid of much. I mean, of course I was, yeah, that's not a good thing. I mean, I was kind of, shooting for my own demise, but my point being, the fears that inflicted a lot of people around me, I could notice more clearly as I started to pay attention, and it bothered me. Bothered me to see that people were really behaving not out of love, but to avoid scary things from happening. And I venture to say 60 to 70% of my behavior, I act because I want something or love something or am shooting towards something. I don't behave away from things often, unless they're self-sabotaging, which I had to learn where those were, all part of the beautiful process. Anyway, I don't know, I really just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some of the unraveling and the mindfulness and, that process, what does it look like? How does one change their behavior? Yeah, I've started to talk a little bit about transmutation and integration in some of the processes that I've been through. I haven't talked at all about EMDR yet. My process, I've been in therapy for 21 years, and at this point I might not be licensed to practice, but I've become a healer because I've healed myself, and I want to help you if I can. That's what I'm here for now. So I shouldn't make it such a super long video today, but I will say that I'm here to help, and I have been through a lot, and I have learned my way through, not easily, I might add. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've been in a lot of terrible circumstances that taught me. I didn't get here easily. So if any of you think for even a second that I have it easy, I've worked my ass off to get here. Dead serious. I think I've probably lived through some things that no one should ever have to live through. And I hope no one else ever has to. But I'm here to help if you do. And I'm going to continue talking a little bit about my process and healing and how to become a self-healer, because I believe we all are self-healers, and if I can be of service, I'd like to be. So, I'm Teddi, and I love you. Stay well. Hope you have a good week. Mm-hmm.